Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language.
And it's going to set the state back decades.
Mm-hmm.
John doesn't care. I don't care. I want these people out of my playground. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we do real bad John Dutton impressions. My name's Amy Archer. I'm your host, and I'm here with my best friend, Stephanie. Good morning, Steph.
What up?
Thank you for spending your weekend with me.
I will always spend my weekend with you.
So today we're really excited because we're starting a new show. We're going to go to the Dutton Ranch. And this is one of Stephanie and our guilty pleasure. Would you right alongside Virgin River?
Yeah. Yes.
This is a guilty pleasure because if you know us, we're the furthest thing from like cowboy folk that you could ever get.
I also want to point out though that I don't feel real guilty about this one. Not as guilty as I am about Virgin River.
Virgin River is...
Which I went down a real fucking rabbit hole this weekend.
Virgin River is the soapiest trash we all love so much.
Love it.
I will say Yellowstone... So I've watched it since its inception.
I know.
And I've always loved it. And,
you have?
But you're probably a little more versed on it than I am because you've binged it recently.
Well, okay, so I tried to start watching it when you did because I remember you telling me about it. And I watched like the first episode or maybe first 2 episodes and I was just not feeling it. And then whatever, I let like years go by. And then a couple months ago, I don't even remember why, I had nothing to do. And I tried it again one night at like midnight in an insomnia situation, which I have often. And that was the end of it. But yeah. I will say that I binged the shit out of it. I watched it all in like the matter of like a week and kind of don't really remember. So when I started rewatching season 5 again, I was like, thank God that I did because I remember almost nothing that happened. Yeah. Because I binge and then I move on. And then it's like, it's in and out. Like my brain just doesn't retain it. That. Yeah, it's real bad.
I will tell you, this is one of the reasons I started this podcast. Because when I watch a show and it's a good show, I live with it for so long. And like, I just need to talk about it. I need to stay immersed in that world. But my mom, she just moves on and forgets what she's reading, watching.
Me too. Whatever. Oh, dude, I have actually picked up books and like halfway through been like, this kind of feels familiar.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I read this like 5 years ago and I don't really remember. But I'm terrible like that.
Content overload. There's so much.
100%.
I want to do two things at the top of this show here. Okay. I want to go very briefly over some events we remember from season 4.
Okay.
And I want to go over the main characters and see who we love and hate. Okay. Because we disagree on one person. I know that.
Yes.
So, and I will also say, somebody once said to me that Yellowstone is like Game of Thrones set in Montana. I disagree with that. Yellowstone is more like Succession. Set in Montana.
Oh, see, I haven't watched.
100%, because you have the patriarch and then you have the kids.
Okay, yeah,
scrambling to take over the empire. It is.
Take your word for it.
So in season 4, as you remember, it opened up where the family, sort of Godfather 2-ish, or no, Godfather 1, the end of Godfather 1, where Michael puts the hit out on all the 5 family figures. And it's very similar. Somebody's coming for the Duttons and everybody's in an assassination attempt.
Crazy.
And so season 4 kind of opens there. We learn through the season that it is Jamie's birth father that has ordered these hits on the family.
I need to ask you, did you see that coming, that he was adopted?
I don't know.
Because I didn't.
I mean, he does not look like John Dutton. And the other kids do.
I know. Well,
Kayce does.
Kayce. I feel
Um,
real. Okay, go ahead. You keep going. I'll
so
save it.
Beth gets her hands on this information and she decides to blackmail him into killing his father. So Jamie has to kill his father. And then he's taking him to the train station and she's there waiting because she happens to know when this is going on. And she she says, turn around. He turns around. Okay, pro tip, guys. Pro tip. When you are dragging the body that you've murdered to its resting spot and someone yells turn around, don't. Do not. Just drop the body and turn around and be like surprised.
Or just don't turn around.
Yeah, because she has this picture of him. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what it shows. He could have just said, see, Jamie's a lawyer. He should be able to figure this out. Like, I would just
He's
say,
like,
I don't know. I found my father's dead body and I was getting rid of it.
so here's an issue that I have with Jamie's character. Like they have him as this like super smart. Sometimes you think he is, but then
Hmm.
at other times I'm like he's like the biggest he walks into traps like nothing I've ever seen before.
I
He's
would
so dumb.
I would argue to say it's because he doesn't think in an evil fashion like Beth does.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Guys, I hate Beth.
Yeah,
I just do. I just do. I'm going to take a lot of heat for this take. I know I am.
I don't think you are.
She's
I
gotten better since we learned about the hysterectomy. Like, you see a little, we have at least a little context for why she hates Jamie so much. But,
yeah, I love
she's
Beth.
over the top. She's over the
Beth
top.
is every bit of the badass I want to be when I grow up.
She's
I
over the
love
top.
her. She is
W-
over the top, but this whole show is over the top. She's perfect.
We'll get there.
Obsessed. Okay.
She finds a kid, Carter, while she's waiting for John Dutton to
And
recover from his injuries in the hospital.
the kid is annoying.
Oh
Like,
my God, I love the kid.
no, I mean, he's adorable,
I love
but
the
I
kid.
mean, really? I don't know.
So Beth and Rip take the kid in. There's, it doesn't go smoothly, of course, but at the end they reconcile and they're taking this kid in. Beth and Rip get married in this
Mm-hmm,
season.
mm-hmm.
John is banging like a 14-year-old woman. No, she's not 14. She's 24.
No.
Summer Wheatley.
Summer, yep. Pipe,
Is
isn't
that
it?
her name?
Piper Parable?
I don't know
Piper,
who the
what's
hell
her
it
real
is.
name?
I have no clue.
Oh, I love her. She was in something else that I liked. I forget. I'll think of it. I won't.
But
I'll have to
her
Google it.
her
But
she's like an environmentalist and
yes.
Beth
Yes, some kind of
manipulates
like an
her.
activist. And he,
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
And Beth manipulates her into staging some kind of protest. She gets arrested. She's like facing jail time. John bails her out and bangs her. So there's
So
that.
weird. I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. We
I
see
need to talk about we can't just gloss over that. I need to talk about that.
it was out of character.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, could Kevin Costner pull a 30-year-old? Yes.
Yes.
100%.
100%. He can
But
pull
like
this 43-year-old.
but, but can John Dutton pull a 30-year-old?
Yes. I just feel like it's not his character to do so. That's the
I
part that annoyed me. Here's this guy who's like clearly still in love with his dead wife,
mhm.
who's still grieving her loss. It's so
Mm,
obvious. Oh, dude,
he
come on,
does
he
Linnell
is.
though, quite often.
But Linnell's a grown ass, older, sexy-ish woman.
I love Linnell.
Same.
She
But like you
played
could
she played Dinah on Guiding Light, and I forever loved her.
I, of course, remember
Mhm.
that. But
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like, that would track though. She's classy. She's, she's all the bit of a woman that you would think John
She's
Dutton would
probably 10 years
go.
older than Summer Wheatley, too.
I would say 20 years older. I
Oh,
think she's
really?
closer to John's age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
So like that tracks. I totally see that. I do
Okay.
not see him just jumping into bed with some 24-year-old in his house while his kid I just don't that annoyed the shit out of me. I liked her and I thought like she played a decent part, but I didn't like that. That was too much. They
Meanwhile,
were
we
pushing
have
it.
we have market equities coming in with this
Yep.
woman Caroline, and they want to build an airport and they want to build, Thomas Rainwater wants to build a hotel, so like they're trying to develop the land. John, of course, is fighting against this. Beth goes to work at market equities and like tries to undermine them from the inside out. She gets caught. Now her and Caroline are at war. What else happens? Oh, Kayce and Monica are pregnant. They move into a house and she's pregnant. Kayce goes on some kind of weird like sweat and
which
spiritual
is
journey,
hot,
which was
I
super
found
hot.
super hot.
And
God, who
at
can
the
I
end-
get to go on like a spiritual journey with me?
I'm not doing that.
I know, but I
I'm
want
not
to.
doing that. I'll go on a spiritual journey with you in a 5-star hotel on the ocean.
Well,
I'm not doing
I'm
it
okay
like
with
naked
that.
on a cliffside in
I
the
would do it.
elements.
I would definitely do it naked on a cliffside if it
No.
wasn't cold.
No.
But like I
Do you
would.
know the bugs that you would encounter?
Well, now you just ruined it. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate you.
So the way that it ends kind of for Kayce and Monica anyway is Monica asks what Kayce saw during his sweat, his, whatever. And he says the end of us. So that's kind of where we leave the Duttons in season 4. Oh, and Jamie thinks he's going to be announced as Linnell's choice for governor, and he's not. He is sidestepped, and it is John who she announces is going to run for governor. And Beth is sitting there with that fucking smirk on her face.
I love it. I love it so much.
So let's go over characters. Let's just talk immediate family, okay?
Okay.
What are your thoughts on who's your favorite character out of the immediate cast? Like out of Rip and Beth and Kayce?
Beth, 100 billion%.
Really?
I love Beth so much.
Nope.
You know what I think it is? I relate to that dynamic of
she's a
love
redhead?
hating your mother.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what
think
I like?
She love hates John?
Yes.
Or you think she love hates her mother?
Both.
Okay.
I actually think she really loves John, but I think she love hates her mother, and I can relate to that. And I can also relate to having a mother that doesn't really love you.
Who played the mother in the flashbacks?
I don't remember. Some blonde woman.
Was it the same person that played the mother flashback in Love and Death? Was it Jillian from Boardwalk Empire?
I have no idea. I never saw that.
Okay.
Don't kill me.
One of the best shows ever.
I know. But I relate to Beth's trauma. Not obviously, not like the abortion, hysterectomy, whatever trauma. I just mean like the family trauma of the mom. Like I just relate to her in a way that hits me deeply, and I just fucking love her. She can do no wrong.
I think she's overwritten. And the problem
she's totally overwritten.
The problem I think is like Taylor Sheridan's kind of like, okay, so you have this girl who grew up as the only girl in this super toxic masculine environment. Yep. And so she needs to act like a man. And she overdoes that too much.
Totally does. And it's totally overdone. But the whole show's fucking overdone, dude.
It totally
John
is.
Dutton is so overdone.
Hey, what you talking about, Steph? Amy. There will be, trigger alert, trigger warning, there will be some real bad impressions of John Dutton going forward, just so you know. So, all right, what are your feelings? Then we talked about Jamie. What are your feelings of Kayce?
I love Kayce.
I love Kayce too.
I mean, I just love him. There's nothing to not love about him. I love everything about him. He's adorable and sexy and loyal and hot and sexy and
so
amazing. And so is his wife. I don't love Monica though.
Oh, I love her. I love her.
I know you would. She's too much of a crybaby bitch for me. I can't deal with her.
I love her. I love her. So what do you think? That was
mean. I don't think she's a crybaby bitch. That was actually mean. I feel bad that I said that.
Do you want me to cut that out?
No.
Okay.
I just like that was not nice. She's literally one of the most beautiful people I've ever laid eyes on. She annoys me. I just find her annoying.
What do you think of their kid? Because I like their kid a lot. Tate.
I like the kid enough.
And I don't like kids.
You know I don't like a kid.
I don't like a kid either, but he's pretty cool.
My issue with Tate is that never mind. I'm not going to say it.
Okay. Do you want me to cut that out?
No, I'm just going to gloss over what I was going to say.
Okay. So 15 minutes in, let's
No, we were
start our
talking
coverage,
about
shall
no,
we?
but we were talking about the characters, who we
Oh,
love and
oh,
who we hate.
well, and then so we
Who
talked
else is
about
there?
Jamie, we talked about Beth, we talked
Rip?
about Kayce. Yeah, Rip. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I I have to love Rip.
I like Rip too. I feel like a lot of women think he's a sex symbol.
I
I
mean,
don't, just because he's not my type at all.
I'm with you on that. Physically, he's not my type,
But
but
I like
I
his character.
love his character. And there's
Mhm.
something sexy about a guy that just wants to take care of Beth that
Yeah,
I
but
love
he's
so
too
much.
emotionally unavailable for me.
I know, but why is there something hot about that?
They all are, though.
Hello.
Guys, this is
Welcome
gonna
to
be
the
a
human experience, Amy.
journey into our obsession with toxic men.
It might be.
All right, let's start. We are at real quick, bunkhouse. Who you liking out of the bunkhouse?
Don't ask me any of their names. I'm terrible with
Walker's
the
my guy.
names. You know I like the guy with the guitar.
That's Walker. He's
Okay,
mine.
well, Walker.
Okay.
I'm not gonna fight you for Walker, okay? You can have him.
I'll give you
But
Kayce, you give me Walker.
Casey's too young for me. He reminds me too much of my kids. It feels dirty.
Okay.
Um, I love the fake Sam Elliott. Don't ask me his name either.
Oh, Lloyd.
Lloyd, the one he reminds me of my dad. God
Yeah,
damn
Lloyd
it.
is cool.
Why do I have to bring my dad into fucking everything? I try real hard not to because I know it's so annoying, but he reminds me physically of my dad
How does
in a
Kayce
really weird way.
remind you of your kids? If Kayce
It's
reminded
just
you of your
because mm-mm.
and I
It's
want to say this with the full disclosure that Stephanie's children are like going to be 21 years old, so I'm not a
correct.
problematic
A
person
pedo.
here.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, if your kids reminded you of Kayce, I'd be spending a lot more time at your house.
But you haven't recently. And that's where I think you're not understanding.
If they're like out in the backyard lassoing shit, I'm there.
They were out in the backyard last night with a whole bunch of friends around a fire pit talking about God
Okay.
only knows what. But
Okay.
what I mean is that he's got that like adorable early 20s baby face.
Yeah, but he's a lot older than that.
I
He's
don't
got to
think
be in
he
his
is.
30s.
I don't think he is.
We
Dude,
need to look this up. You talk, I'm looking it up.
when we first met him in season 1, he was very young. He had to be like 18.
Is Kayce Dutton?
And he's just too close in age to my boys and their group of friends that
He's
it feels
32 in this season. So in season 1, when we meet him, he's 28. The actor is 34.
He's 28. See, I thought he was like 18.
Mm-hmm. So we are covering Yellowstone season 5, episode 1. 100 years is nothing. Okay. I just wrote my first note here is John Dutton got himself a little haircut.
My first note is I fucking love that opening song. Something
Yeah, me
about
too.
that opening
too.
song just like warms the cockles of my heart.
The sequence is great.
That I'm just like, oh.
Okay. So we open on election night. So it's been about 6 or 7 months since we last saw the Duttons. And we know this, we get confirmations later because of how pregnant Monica is. So John's got himself a little haircut. He's hanging out with Beth. They're taking the concession call from his opponent, Scott. He's won the governorship of Montana with 53% of the vote, which is a very slim margin, although by today's standards, that's a landslide. Scott is now given his concession speech, and everybody's watching, and Beth mutters, "We've taken our last call from you, buddy. You can go back to New York and take those fucking babies with you." I hate her. Why is she insulting his kids?
Because she's damaged because she can't have any of her
She
own.
needs
So of
to
course,
go to therapy.
I know she does, but we need to
Okay.
love her for where she is. This is where she is.
She needs to go to therapy.
Of course she needs therapy,
I would
Amy.
pay to see that. I would pay to see Orna therapize her.
Oh my God.
So John heads down to make his victory speech, and the crowd is chanting, 4 years starts now. 4 years starts now. There are a ton of cowboys. Of cowboys in that room.
Lots of cowboys.
Jamie, meanwhile, is like kind of staying behind and sulking. And he's really got the help me, Ronan vibe from Succession. Like he is overlooked. He is pissed off.
You keep bringing up these references that I don't know.
Succession is so good.
How about that stare down, though, between him and Beth?
Oh my God. It was crazy.
It's a good one.
So they're getting ready, and Jamie comes downstairs and he plasters on a smile and he asks if he can introduce John and Linnell. Linnell's now senator. And Linnell says, "Sure, Jamie, the honor is ours." And then she tells John, "That was really big of him." And Beth mutters, "He's not doing it for you. He's doing it to
Doing
get
it
on
on the
stage."
stage.
And Linnell just goes, "Aren't we all, Beth? Aren't we all?" Now,
Fuck off,
Jamie
Linnell.
does a great intro. This is where Jamie is
Yes,
in
I
his
agreed.
wheelhouse.
I agree.
He is the politician. He
Yep.
is like out
Kissing
there and
babies. Yeah.
mm-hmm. And so he introduces them and John gets up there and John says they have a lot of I'm not gonna do it. Not yet. I'm saving the invitation for areas where it's really important. He says they have a lot of work to do and they have a lot of work to undo. And that they will always have to answer the question, what will Montana look like 100 years from now?
Mm.
And we are the rich man's novelty, New York and California's playthings. Not anymore, bitches. That's basically what he
Oh
says.
my God.
He says, "You elected me to be the steward of this state, and Montana's most valuable resource is not found in nature. It's you, the farmers and the ranchers." And Beth is just staring a hole through Jamie the entire time.
And it's so great.
Yes.
The stare
Well,
down was like one of my favorite parts of the whole episode.
it was pretty intense, but did you notice that Beth broke first?
Yes,
She looked
I
away
did.
first.
I did.
So Thomas Rainwater and Mo are watching this from their casino, and Thomas tells Mo, like, this is bad for the hotel, it's bad for the airport, but it might be okay for us. We just have to figure out how this is going to play to our advantage. At Markwood Equities, Carolyn is raging as she
Oh my
watches
God.
the speech, and she's
80?
screaming, "This fucking family!" You know who she reminds me of? The old lady
Who?
from Poltergeist.
Oh,
You
she
know who I'm talking about?
does. I do. Don't ask me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My favorite part though, so she does this really dramatic scene where she's like drinking out of like a rocks glass. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
taking a
Mm-hmm.
drink and she's like, "I'm tired of playing with these fucking hillbillies." And she like launches her glass at the wall, but it's like the most horribly acted scene ever. Like I literally laughed so hard. It was so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep. Ellis, her
Mm-hmm.
henchman, Ellis, notices something. He's like, "Look at Jamie. Like Jamie's not as happy as you think he would be." And
Mm-hmm.
we see footage of Jamie on the screen for like 20 minutes, which is weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Carolyn orders him to bring Sarah Atwood out here because they are taking the gloves off. And then she says she's tired of these fucking
Fucking
hillbillies.
hillbillies. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry, I ruined
No, that's okay.
your little synopsis.
Now, very jarring. No transition here. We have teenage Beth and Rip, and there was no. I'm like, who are these
Who
kids?
are these? I know, but like I
Because
loved it so much.
but they really didn't have them in like dress or anything that would say, "Oh, this is 20 years earlier."
I know.
It was weird. They should have done something there.
I
I don't
agree, but
know.
I still loved it. I
So,
love Baby Rip.
Baby Rip is really cute.
He's
He
like the
really is.
sweetest, and I love
Yes.
him.
So Beth is getting ready to leave for college tomorrow and she's going to study finance and she asks Rip on a date. Now, I have a question because you watched this more recently than I did.
Okay.
They get pregnant when she's a teenager, correct?
Yes.
Is it before this or after this?
I was thinking the same thing. I don't remember.
Okay, so we don't know. Okay. So Teen Rip.
I truly had the same question.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
remember.
This feels like this is at the beginning of their relationship.
I couldn't
But
tell though because
some
she
of
was
the things she says
yes,
make
it's
it seem like,
confusing. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going to call him Baby Rip. I like that name. Baby Rip
Rip.
is getting ready at the bunkhouse to go out on a date with Beth. And we have now, I don't know if you noticed, young Lloyd is played by the actor's son. So Lloyd's son plays him as a young man, which is kind of cool.
I love that.
So young Lloyd is there and
You mean young fake Sam Elliott?
yes.
Let's be real. FSE.
So Baby Rip and Beth get into this Jeep, which again, I'm trying to clock the year here because the Jeep looks pretty modern.
Oh no,
And I'm
that
like,
was a
what is
clear
going
like
on?
early
90s?
90s. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Jeeps haven't changed their grills all that much, and that was all I could really see.
No, I knew that Jeep.
So they drive down to the bar. Now, this is another point you and I disagree on. I love a good dive bar.
I know you do. I
I
do
really
not.
do.
It immediately grosses me out because I can smell it and the smoke in my hair when I leave that makes me want to throw up when I get home. Nope.
I love a good dive bar. Not
I know.
necessarily, you can't smoke in bars here anymore. So I didn't
No,
love the
but
smoking aspect, but I mean, when I did smoke, I loved a good dive
of
bar.
course.
And I will tell you that when I pick up my plan of starting to smoke again when I'm 75, I'm going to love a good dive bar.
That means I'm going to have to learn to love them because who's going
Yes.
to carry you out of them?
Right. You're
Me.
going to have to come with me.
God damn it.
So Beth orders a martini and she gets carded, but this is
That
ridiculous.
this was ridiculous.
She flashes her cleavage and the bartender just forgets all about it. Like,
No,
this
no.
would
Oh,
not
no,
happen.
wait. The bartender says, "You got ID, honey?" And she goes, "I got two of them." Or
Right,
whatever the
but she's
fuck she
only
said.
showing the top of her
I
boobs.
know, but it was still like, what?
If I was
That
the
annoyed the hell
bartender,
out
I
of
would be like,
me.
I want more than that for
Yeah.
this favor I'm about
It's
to do
so
you.
stupid.
So she's Beth says she is choosing to benefit from men's lust. And Baby Rip wants to leave and she doesn't. And he's pissed off and she's saying terrible things to him and she's talking over him and he's not educated, so he doesn't
I know.
understand.
How
And
about how
he
adorable, though, that he ordered a water?
I know, I love him. So he leaves and finds some guys from the bunkhouse in the parking lot. So I immediately knew what was going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they let him take the truck and go home. And later, baby Beth comes home with the guys. And of course, she starts making out with one of them right in front
Of
of baby Rip.
course.
Hmm.
And that's when I got confused because then I was like, well, wait, did she sleep with that guy? And was that? And I confused myself because I'm like, was he the father of the baby? And and then I'm like, I went
I
down a rabbit
promise,
hole of my not remembering.
I promise, guys, we will sort this out for next
Ugh, we're the
episode.
worst.
So current day Beth wakes up. She must have been remembering that or dreaming it because she
Mm-hmm.
comes downstairs and I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling when like you feel shitty about something you've done in the past and you can't
Mm-hmm.
undo it.
Yep. And you don't know how to apologize for it like
Right.
she does in this moment.
Exactly. Yes.
She says something like, because he keeps saying sorry for what and sorry for what. And she's like, from before, I'm sorry for everything that happened before right now. And I was like,
Yep.
it's pretty fun. Yeah, I get
She's
it.
like, I was fucking awful to you, but
Oh,
trust me, I was worse on myself. Then he goes into this thing like, your problem is your mouth. Your heart is so big, but once your mouth gets going, and there's this like, I'm the only one who knows you have this big heart. I don't. Do you talk with your husband like this? Because I don't talk with my husband like
well,
this.
no, but again, it's over the top.
It's a soap
It's
opera. I have to keep
Yellowstone, dude.
remembering. It's a soap opera. Yes.
So, no, we don't talk like that, but nothing that happens in this show is like anything I do in real life.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
it's kind of why
So
I love it.
she says, I've robbed us. This is one part I did like. She
Yeah.
says, it's robbed us of so much time. And he says, whatever it took, I don't need. And
Mm.
then he says, you need someone new to fight, or you're just going to sit around this house and beat the shit out of yourself.
Oh,
And
I
then
did
he
love that
smiles.
line.
Then he smiles and says, you did put me through hell, though. Then he says, like, where's John? We got some calving to do today. And she's like, well, he's like going to be back in 4 years. So I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, God damn it, motherfucker. Okay. At the ranch, the party planners are all over, and Rip is pissed because they got the
Mm-hmm.
caffin to do. They've got
He's
the
got shit
cabin
to
to do.
do.
Hmm. So he rounds up his little team in their little
Team.
shirts, and they go cabin. Now, in Helena, Lynette and John are having some breakfast, and she reminds him, you have no friends in this building. They flirt a little bit, and she says something about like being in the coat closet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, is he banging
Mm-hmm.
her in the coat closet?
I mean, clearly.
Wow. I think she's still into him.
Oh, she definitely is. I
Hmm.
actually think she has real feelings for him.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. Hmm. So she says think of it this way. You don't want to be here. And he's a big baby through the whole episode. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. But she's like, you don't want to run again. So there's like a lot of power in that. You can get a lot done if you're not worried about being reelected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we see this scene at the Milk River Valley. And I don't know what is happening here, but I have a feeling this is going to come back to haunt Kayce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, again, in the most action the livestock police have ever seen, they're all out chasing a gang of thieves who have stolen a bunch of horses.
Yep.
And they chase these thieves right up to the Canadian border.
Right.
And on the other side of this river, this is like something on Little House on the Prairie.
Totally.
On the other side of the river, I was expecting to see the Canadian Mounties, but we have just the Canadian police.
Yep.
And of course, they're like just standing there, no guns drawn, no, like they're just like, stop, or I'll yell stop again, that kind of thing. And so
you'll stop again.
Kayce and all those guys are coming up, like, you know, with their assault rifles and shit, and like, rah, 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 and they're chasing these guys. At one point, Kayce makes a run onto their land, like crosses onto the Canadian border, and the Canadians are pissed about this.
Yeah.
They've been chasing these horse thieves for quite a while, and they want them. But Kayce basically like goes all America on them and is like, our prisons are the worst. They're going to suffer if we keep them over here. So basically makes Canada look the fool. I don't know why we did this.
I don't either. It didn't fit into anything that was happening. So I'm assuming that there's more to come. There has to be.
I'm hoping.
Me too.
Meanwhile, John Dutton is getting sworn in, and he refuses at first.
I know. What's your name?
What's your name?
What's your name?
So he gives a speech, and he announces that his first order of business is shutting down that airport, and he's going to double taxes for non-residents. Okay, first of all, anybody who knows, I'll get into this. I'm not going to talk about it now. Okay. He's also adding, because there's a better place for me to talk about how wrong this is. He's also adding a sales tax for non-residents. And I just wrote, this is real heavy on the coastal elite bullshit. Like, it really is.
It really is.
And Jamie tells Beth, this doesn't even sound legal. He can't do any of this. And it's going to set the state back decades. John doesn't care. I don't care. I want these people out of my playground. Steph, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, so in the car ride home, John is trying to make Beth be nice to Jamie. But of course you can't do that because Beth is evil.
Can we back up a second?
Yeah.
So when John was getting sworn in, this is just something funny that I thought of.
Oh, Thomas Rainwater was there. I forgot to mention that.
John was getting sworn in and he puts his hand on the Bible. And the only thing I could think of is like, I could never run for office because swearing on a Bible means nothing to me.
I don't think it means much to many people. I shouldn't say that.
No, definitely. It means a lot to a lot of fucking people.
Sure. But, I mean, it's not like it's legally binding.
I know, but I just hate the whole idea of it.
I do too. But it's
what
just
is wrong with me?
It's just
ceremonial. I know, but like, can't we put our hand on like, I don't know, the Declaration of Independence or like
put your hand on the Constitution.
Do you know what I mean though? Yeah. Like I hate the whole act of that. I hate it. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. It means nothing. I just hate it and I needed to say it.
I agree. So Jamie tells John in the car that he should not cancel the airport deal because it's bringing $5 million a year to a ranch that is literally losing millions of dollars a year. Beth is doing some shady shit with the accounting we learned. She's like paying for the party out of John's
campaign fund.
Yeah. There's real tight laws around that stuff, guys, for a reason. Yeah. So Jamie's like, look, we just have to stay on the right side of the law here. Like, what the fuck? And they're fighting back and forth. And John says, my wife is probably mortified by what has become of this family. John says, Jamie, you'll do what I tell you for 4 years and you have to toughen up. This is all about the ranch. Everything we do is about the ranch. So now John's like, oh shit, there's a driver. Does he know what I'm talking? And Jamie's like, they sign NDAs. And John's like, make sure this guy is my driver every time. So, whatever. Now, I will say, Jamie is absolutely right here.
Uh-huh.
Like, you can't, this is, I don't want to get political, but trust me, I have
I
studied
know.
politics a long time and have been
I know.
closely following politics a long time. Like, you can't fight progress.
Mm-mm.
And Montana cannot be a closed border state. Like, it just wouldn't happen.
Nope.
So, you
Well,
need to,
again,
like, I understand what he's saying, and the route that he needs to go is to put like strong laws that support the farmers and the ranchers and protect the
sure.
land without impeding progress.
Sure.
Like,
Yep.
it's such a delicate balance, but it needs to be found in
I
some way.
know.
So in the bunkhouse, they're talking about the upcoming party. This was a funny scene.
It's a great scene.
And Teeter, now you know who Teeter is, right?
I don't know any of their. I'm terrible with names. Tell me what he looks like.
Teeter's the girl.
Oh, look. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, my
Yes.
God. She's
And
one of my favorites.
but you know who she is, the actress.
I do?
She is Michael Landon's daughter.
Get the hell out of here.
Yes. She was on As the World Turns.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Landon. I think her name's Jennifer.
I do love her voice and
Yep.
how absolutely ridiculous she is.
Yes. So she says, I'm going to wear a dress. And they start picking on Jake, saying he wants to wear a dress. Rip comes in and they convince him this is real. And he tells Jake, if you wear a dress to make a point or to win a bet, I'll hang you in it. And he says the governor's ball ain't no place to settle a bet.
Oh my God.
Now, at the party, Shane Smith and the Saints are playing, and I liked this song.
Oh, I hated this band. It's
Really?
literally why I wrote P.S. I still hate country music.
I feel like they're alt country, though.
I don't like alt country either.
Alt country's like Whiskey Town,
I don't even know
Jason
who that
Isbell.
is. I mean, I know who Jason Isbell is. He's all
Like
right.
that kind of thing.
I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. Sorry.
I've really gotten into it as of recently. Oh, your dog. Hi, Josie. She can't hear me.
Yeah.
So John and Lynette show up, and again, he's bitching. Like, he's just, ugh.
He's actually acting like a big asshole crybaby, like a Monica.
He's acting like a big baby.
Yeah,
Like,
it's annoying.
Poor baby won the governorship.
Yeah, shut up.
So he's like, when I took over the ranch, I was 34 years old. And for the next 30 years, I never spent one night away from it. But I haven't been here for a month. Is that Boss Hog I'm doing?
That's Boss Hog.
I'm sorry.
You're doing a Boss Hog.
I am. I told you all older white guys are going to sound like Boss Hog.
I know.
So the Bunkhead boys are having a lasso contest, and Beth walks by, and she's wearing quite the dress.
It's so ridiculous.
Would you describe it for us?
It looked like masking tape. That's what I thought. Like, I'm not even kidding. It was so bad. It was even out of character for her. I felt like it was just stupid and like it was real ugly.
It was way over the top.
It was bad.
She's talking. She runs into this singer, and they're talking about dating cowboys. And the girl says, "I don't date them because they always like the lifestyle better." Beth says, "I prefer a man whose life is full. I wanted blind admiration. I'd get a dog." Like, she's just so aggressive.
She really is.
All the time.
Annoying. That was annoying.
Like, I wanted to say to her that if I was that woman, I would turn to her and say, how am I hurting you that I don't want to date cowboys?
Seriously.
Like,
I know.
Why do you give a fuck who I like to date?
Yeah. Like, let's internalize everything.
Yeah.
So annoying. That was annoying.
So this woman, Abby, has her eye on Ryan, and he lassos her into a dance, and it was quite sexy.
Mm-hmm.
The dance was quite sexy.
It's pretty for her.
So now we see Rip in like a modeling pose up on the hill.
Yeah, that was, you know what it reminded me of? That image of Miss Piggy.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the famous Miss Piggy when she's in like the red gown and she's like in that exact pose. He was doing the Miss Piggy. That's the only thing I could think about.
You know what it reminded me of? Like season 1 or 2 Charles Ingalls. When he's laying in the field like that, watching the kids play. Stop.
I literally hate you.
So Rip is up there. He tells Beth, I feel like Nero, the emperor who played the fiddle while Rome burned.
Mm,
He said, John is going to lose this place.
yeah.
And then he goes to bed. And that's a switch for them because
Yeah.
Rip is usually like a super optimistic and Beth is like,
Yeah.
everything's going to burn to the fucking ground. But
Mm-hmm.
like Beth is kind of like, oh, it'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's real weird.
So he goes to bed. Kayce, now the end scene. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Kayce calls Monica. Monica is as pregnant as I looked with twins. She
Same.
is like, that's the worst fake pregnancy belly I've ever seen.
It's
It's
bad.
enormous.
hmm
They
It's
literally
way
took a
too
huge
fake.
beach ball and put it under her
Yeah,
dress.
it's real bad.
He calls her to check in and she says she's having labor pains and she needs to meet him at the hospital in Billings. He's like, I'm going to send an ambulance. Just start driving. The ambulance will meet you on the South Road or something like that.
Yeah.
She starts driving to meet the ambulance and is in intense contractions. And Tate is begging her to let him drive.
hmm
Please let me drive. And she's like, you can't drive. He's like, I could drive better than this. He's not
He's
wrong.
not wrong. That actually, this is the part of the reason why I hate Monica. I don't hate
Mm,
Monica. She just annoys me. Like, instead of doing the right thing and just pulling the fuck over,
mm-hmm.
like, okay, if you have to deliver your baby on the side of the road, I think it's far better than like delivering your baby while you're doing 95 swerving all over the road. Like, come
Mm-hmm.
on. That was with your older kid in the car. That's the
Yes.
part that annoyed the shit out of me. She should have just pulled that fucking car over and waited for that ambulance.
I agree.
Asshole.
And Tate, we heard Tate debut his new squeaky voice, which
Oh,
was
I
really cute.
know. I know.
Now they're doing a cut. They're doing like a smash cut with this driver who's not paying attention, which
Mm-hmm.
was triggering for me because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was very similar to, oh, what was that movie where the guy's looking over and the car's oh, I know, it wasn't a movie. It was Reva driving her red Buick
Oh my
off the
God.
dock screaming,
Uh-huh.
"Here I come, bud.
Here
Here
come
I
yeah.
come." Mhm. So, some guiding lights there for you guys.
Oh my God.
So it kind of reminded me of that, but the other smash cut was of a buffalo.
Oh, I know.
And a buffalo, you know, I'm going to look this up. Hold on. Pause.
See, I feel like the buffalo had something to do with
Me
Casey's
too.
thing,
That's
the
what I'm looking up.
the end of them or something. I think it has something to do with that and his spiritual awakening with the naked and the bugs.
Okay. I was trying to look up if there's a buffalo, like if it symbolizes something,
Buffalo
but it doesn't
soldier,
symbolize anything specific.
dreadlock
Different
rasta.
tribes
Yeah,
feel
I'm sure.
differently about it.
Yeah,
But anyway, so she hits the buffalo like head on.
yeah. The
And
buffalo was symbolic. Let's just say that.
it really was. It
Yeah,
really
no, it
was.
was.
So she hits the buffalo head on,
Mm-hmm.
and now we cut to the ranch. John runs into Carter, who's like a tall, thin teenager now. And I can
Mm-hmm.
confirm it's the same actor.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thought he was
Is
recast.
no,
He
it's
just had
not.
like a growth
Mhm.
spurt.
It's
So
kind of adorable though.
it's
This part was
adorable.
I loved this part.
I did too, because John's freaked out and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"You're a living reminder of how much time I don't have." Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm
No,
putting the
wait.
southern accent
Southern,
into
yeah,
it.
it's not. It's more like this, Amy. So I'm John Dutton, and he says,
No, you're
"What does
too
he
high.
say?"
It's got to be
I
a
know.
little
Wait,
deeper.
what does he say? Hold on, hold on.
You're a living
Stop.
reminder how much time I don't
No,
have.
but he says something funny like, "Stop taking." We're probably gonna have to cut
Growth
this out.
hormones?
Yeah, no, he said no. He literally said like, stop eating so. He says
Okay.
something that's like real, like super adorable in like a dad grandpa way. Stop
Yeah.
growing. I don't like it.
Stop growing. Yeah, he's more. I got to take the southern out of it. It has to be
Yeah,
like, you're a living reminder of
it's
how much
how
time I
much
don't
I don't
have.
have. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's it.
So
John Dutton.
Jamie and Beth pull up and they're like, we need you ASAP in Billings, where Monica and Kayce are. They all head there. They all get to the hospital. And Tate is outside. He's beat up. He's got his arm in a cast, black eye.
Mm-hmm.
We see Kayce curled up with Monica on the bed in the hospital room. Monica is not pregnant anymore. And we just hear Tate say behind John, I had a brother for an hour. His name was John. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's how we end episode 1. We pan out. We see all the Duttons just standing there. Beth actually like touches,
like, embraces. I saw that.
Tate and like comforts him. Mm-hmm.
So like that's the thing with Beth. I do feel like there is a soft spot to her.
Yeah, she's just overwritten. It's just too much.
She's overwritten, but she's just never really felt loved.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
It actually makes me really sad.
So some overall thoughts here that I have is I love the bunkhouse.
The bunkhouse is my favorite thing ever.
And I just wrote, I'm loving the storyline of John wanting to be real heavy-handed in this political nightmare and Jamie trying to be the voice of reason. That's going to set up a really interesting dynamic between them. Like he's trying to just, I'm going to tax these motherfuckers and kick them out of here. Okay, well, then who's going to pay to keep your state going?
Exactly.
Because, like, and I love how, like, let's not forget that farmers would literally be bankrupt if it weren't for government subsidies.
I know.
So, like, the government is involved, dude. I'm sorry, but it just is. And they should be. They should be helping these farmers out.
100%.
But, like, it's a whole thing.
It's annoying.
Yeah. So, like, it'll be interesting to see that clash of old and new. I don't think it's necessarily, like, conservative and liberal. I think it's old and new.
Same. Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Yeah. Like, this idea that I could just tax these motherfuckers and they'll get out of here. And Jamie's like, whoa, I gotta hire you first, guy.
Seriously.
And so that's where we're at. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Kayce and Monica.
I know.
You know?
Do you think really the end of them?
Well, that's interesting because I was thinking that Kayce saw the end of the Dutton Ranch in his.
Oh.
So when he said, but other people have interpreted like you have. Some people are saying they saw the end of him and Monica and Tate, like their family.
Oh.
But I've interpreted it as the end of the Duttons. I don't know.
Interesting. I hadn't even thought of it like that.
I don't know what's going to happen. All right, guys. This has been our coverage of Yellowstone. We'll be back next week with episode 2. In the meantime, listen to me and Leslie DJ covering And Just Like That, which continues to be a burning dumpster fire.
God.
We cover that and we put that out on Fridays. And then Amanda and I will be coming back with Yellow Jackets season 1. So we're going to start going backwards. Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
So we covered Yellow Jackets season 2 when it was airing. And we realized we want to get season 1 done before 3 comes out. So we're going to be jumping into season 1, and that's going to start next week. So we got a lot coming. All right, guys, if you haven't already, please leave us a review. 5 stars would be nice. It helps us get found in Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. If you have a mom or a grandma or a dad over, grab their phone, get on Apple iTunes, and leave us a review, or Apple Podcasts.
Apple iTunes.
And if you haven't already, check out our Facebook group, Little Miss Recap's Backdoor Friends. Open to all backdoor friends and anal lovers. God. Jenny goes, you didn't run that branding past me. I'm like, no, I didn't run past anybody.
She didn't run it past anyone, Jenny. Anyone.
So join us there. We have a lot of fun, I think, where you can respond to us. Also, leave us a voicemail. You can do that on littlemissrecap.com. Yes.
I'm going to start calling and leaving voicemails.
littlemissrecap.com. Go there, and on the right-hand side, you'll see leave us a voice message. And you can leave a voice message. You don't need a microphone or anything fancy. You can leave us a comment, and we might play it on the show.
That's
if it's like fun. All right. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you soon.